This is the Moto GamePad, part of the second generation of Moto Mod hardware add-ons from Motorola's Moto Z phone lineup. If that name sounds familiar, it's because we've been waiting for this accessory for a while now, and Motorola first confirmed the Moto GamePad in an announcement all the way back in February. All we knew at the time, though, was that we could expect it to land sometime this summer. Well, Motorola's still keeping quiet with specifics on the GamePad's release, but this week at the Moto Z2 Force launch event, we finally scored an opportunity to go hands-on with the upcoming hardware. The Moto GamePad attaches to any Moto Z-series phone and augments the handset with a set of dedicated gaming controls. While gaming's a part of how many smartphone users enjoy their devices, gaming-specific hardware has been a harder sell, and phones with it baked in, like the old Sony Xperia Play, failed to catch on. Is modular hardware the answer, so these controls are only there when you actually need them? When connected to a Moto Z phone, the Moto GamePad transformed the handset into a wide gaming console, not unlike a Nintendo Switch in its layout. You've got thumbsticks on each side, a directional pad on the left, 4 face input buttons on the right, and 2 shoulder buttons, in addition to Start, Select, and Home. The controls themselves feel pretty nice, and the thumbsticks especially are really great to experience in a smartphone context, where they provide a haptic component to gaming that's otherwise lacking from touchscreen or even tilt controls. Input is fast and responsive, a big benefit of having the low latency wired connection that Moto Mods offer, rather than risking lag with a Bluetooth controller, as is the popular way to add hardware gaming controls to a phone. While the GamePad controls are pretty straightforward, there are a few extravagancies here, like internal LEDs that illuminate the shoulder buttons when pressed. There's also a corresponding glowing logo on the GamePad's back. None of this really adds anything to the experience, but we suppose it's not hurting much either. Somewhat surprisingly, for the level of functionality the GamePad offers, this is a battery-powered unit, with a 1035 mAh battery rated for 8 hours of playback. There's a USB Type-C port on the bottom for recharging, and next to that an analog headphone jack. That's a nice touch, both because the Moto GamePad blocks the built-in headphone jack on Moto Z phones that do have one, and it removes the need for a USB adapter with the Moto Z phones that don't. Our first impressions of using the GamePad have been largely positive, though it admittedly feels a bit large. You won't be used to holding your phone with quite this wide a stance. Still, that's bound to become more natural feeling quickly, especially as we get to check out more and more GamePad-optimized apps. Motorola is still waiting to confirm pricing and availability details for the Moto GamePad, and right now the only public ETA is still sometime later this summer. I'm Steven Shank with PhoneArena, thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for even more Moto Mods coverage coming soon.